welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all doing well. I have a brand new mold and it is a beauty. I'm going to be making something I've never tried before, never done before on my channel. This is the mold. It is a beast. This is a Druzy Moon mold. It is hand designed and handmade by Bow Home Beautiful. I will link their Instagram down below. They contacted me a while ago and asked if they could send me one of their Druzy Moons, and oh my goodness me, when I saw their Instagram and the actual beauty of this thing, I said yes. It's got two large crystal clusters and I figured I'd make some kind of dangly, like a hanging thingy, either like a mobile. You can either like hang something from the top of the moon, or on their Instagram they've got beautiful kind of crystal chains hanging from the bottom of the moon, and I thought, yes please. So first up, yes, I am using Let's Resin Chameleon powder in Plum because this is my absolute favourite Halloweeny, witchy, aesthetic kind of powder. Of course, you can do absolutely anything you want with this mould. You could use crystal clear resin, you could use 100% glitter, and honestly, sky's the limit. But I really wanted to try it out with my favourite powder of the season, and that is the Let's Resin Chameleon. Now this Druzy mold is super chunky, and that is because, like I said, it's got two crystal clusters, so it has to be deep because those crystal clusters run deep. So it's really a case of making sure that you have fully coated the entire mold in your chameleon powder if this is the route you want to take. Remember, there are so many different ways you could actually use this mold. I was toying with the idea of using my crystal clear resin to create a crystal clear Druzy mold, but I just really, yeah, this is where my heart lies, guys, and this is what I wanted to do. So the choice of colour, the choice of use, the way you do it is entirely up to you. But I am using a fluffy brush to get deep down inside those Druzy clusters. You know, with the naked eye, it's kind of hard to see the clusters and kind of like what directions they go off in. But if you kind of get close and look real close, then you can work it out. You can see where they're going. At this point, I put my flash on my camera and oh my goodness me, the sparkle was intense. Now, you would have already seen this mold a couple of videos back. I decided to kind of either use the Celtic Knot or the Witchy Star and not the others. It was these two that were particularly calling to me that I think would work best with the project and to have a little dangly. So I actually coated both of those as well in the exact same powder. Now the resin I'm using to fill this Druzy Moon, because it's not that deep, so you really could use any resin with this. I'm going to be using the craft resin. This is the craft resin, just standard 24-hour cure craft resin. Now it is a measurable by volume 1:1, so I'm going to use my calibrated cup. Not sure how much this mold is going to take, so I'm just kind of eyeballing it. I think I did around 90 to 100 grams of each. And then I actually decided to make a lot more because I have another project coming up as well. So I figured I would just make the resin I need for a couple of videos, if that makes sense. I am using, of course, black. Now, if you are new to resin and you would like to use chameleon powders in this way, then black is the best backing color for chameleon powders. It really makes them pop. Now, if you want to see a full experiment testing this theory, go head over to Wendy at Toonpish Crafts. She did an entire video on chameleon powders and testing backing colors, and truly black wins all day long. So definitely use your black if you want the most intense color. As you can see here, I'm just pouring it in one spot. So this Druzy Moon is so detailed. So many intricate divots and gaps and nooks and crannies. And I want to make sure that that resin flows totally by itself, totally organically into each and every one of those nooks and crannies. You can just go around with your cup and just pour it. But honestly, the odds are not in your favor that you will just get so many air pockets and the resin won't have a chance to get in to the tippity tips of those details. So here you see, I'm going creative, guys. Look at me, artistic. You're welcome. With the resin just kind of like slowly working its way from one tip of the moon down to the other tip of the moon until it is completely and utterly filled up. I then poured the same exact craft resin using the black pigment paste into these two. So we've got the Celtic knot and the witchy star. It's like the Star of David, but with the circle around it. And yeah, I've just trying to be neat here. I don't know how many times you guys have heard me say that. Let me know in the comment section. When I say things like, I'm really trying to be neat here, do you guys laugh? Does that actually make you laugh? Because it makes me laugh. And when I even think I could possibly be neat, because look at the state of it. Like, didn't take long for me to pour too much. And of course, I had to do the scrape with my lollipop stick and just make those nice and neat before demold. This is 24 hours later. I do have some bubbles on the back, and that I guess is because this detailed mold released some air halfway through curing. I did hit it with the heat, but hey ho. And this is the result. I am in love. I'm so in love. Two things. Part of me wishes that I mixed up the colours a little bit, maybe. Maybe just done a couple of different colours in there to make it even more wow. But as far as I'm concerned, this is a wow. I don't feel like my camera is doing it justice, but I am going to take you out in the garden, in the sunshine, to show you this properly in a second. The crystal clusters are stunning on here. The placement of them are beautiful. You've got like a miniature, almost cityscape scene with lots of them. And then you've got one big one. Now with the big one, I will say that quite a bit of powder, a mica powder, must have got lodged at the bottom of the crystal. Therefore, it's not as sharp as it should be. So that's human error. Just make sure that you brush out, shake out, or blow out any excess powder that may have got down into those nooks and crannies. Now, this one did need a bit of a clean up because, as you saw, I made a mess. I was kind of playing around at this point. Do I want it hanging in the center? Do I want this one, or do I want the Celtic knot? So I had a play with both at the top and at the bottom. I don't have anything like that. You know, like crystals hanging on chains with like beads and even more crystals. I just love that aesthetic. And you can see what I'm talking about if you go over to Bow Home Beautiful Instagram. There's one of the moons she's made has got all of these stunning chains and crystals hanging from it. That is something I would love to try, but that really would take a lot of work for me to create those because I don't have any. Now, what you can see me doing here is just using my deburring tool to take off the sharp edges of the underbelly of the moon because, yeah, I did get a bit of sharpness there, which you will do sometimes with resin. This is the Celtic knot. Now, I decided immediately this has to be the one. It just screamed at me. It was a decision between the two, but I just felt like the knot was the one. Next up, we had to attach it to the moon. This could not have been any easier. I was nervous about this because, again, I've never done anything like this before. I've never had a mold like this and I've never done this, but using my go-to jewellery drill, which, by the way, is linked below in my Amazon storefront, in jewellery. So I've got a whole page on jewellery and you'll find it in there. And I also have a section on tools as well. So you'll find anything in there that you might need. I just screwed an eyelet into the hole. That's where I'm going to hang my Celtic knot from. I figured it would hang nicely from the centre. And I'm just using my jewellery pliers to really tighten it in there and just make sure that it's not going to move. I mean, really, this Celtic knot is so light, I can't imagine anything pulling out that screw eyelet. Now, I'm just using not real silver, so like junk jewellery here. I'm just clipping it on to the hook and I'm just kind of gauging it, like, where do I want this to dangle from? I really want it as central as possible. Now, how you do this is up to you. If you decide to do this wherever you place your things, it's totally down to you and personal choice. That is the beauty of creativity. I'm then just using a jump ring to kind of like attach. Oh, Wendy, I watched your video yesterday. You called it a split ring. Guys, have I been calling them jump rings all this time? Is it split ring or jump ring, please? I want to make sure I'm saying the right thing. Yeah, I just attached it with the jump ring, split ring onto the chain, but it was a bit too low. I wanted it as central as possible, like I said. So cut some more chain, hung it back up again, and I feel like I got it as central as I possibly could. Then it was time to think about how are we going to hang it. Now, if you wanted to, you could use resin on the back, attach some chain using resin. But honestly, for me, that was long. That was a long process that I didn't want to do. So I attached 2 eyelet screws. So you get the idea. I wanted it like this, like an actual hangy. So I attached 2 eyelets. But truth is, you really have to look at the counterbalance. So I got it completely wrong. This kind of item needs to have a counterbalance. You need to get it right. So wherever you place your hook, it needs to be in the exact spot so that when you're hanging it up, the moon hangs right. Everything hangs right. So I decided to take away one of those eyelets and just have one. So I took the one away that was right by the tip, and now I've just left this one in, and I'm just going to put a little hook on here. And as I picked it up, I realized I had got the balance exactly right. So what is that? I want to say 3 inches, around about 3.5 inches from the tip is the perfect spot for your hook to get that counterbalance spot on. And here it is out in the garden. Guys, I love it. I have never made anything like this before, and I love it. Anything like that kind of dream catcher vibe, it's giving me dream catcher vibes. Now, I think it would be absolutely beautiful. Oh my gosh, guys, I do have a feather mold. Oh, why didn't I think of this until voiceover Claire? I have got a feather mold. How beautiful would that be with matching feathers all hanging down below to make it more dream catchery? I think it is stunning. This is what it's looking like in the sun. Like I said, I brought you outside to get the full wow of that chameleon and the druzy effect. Now, this druzy would really stand out if you use clear resin, because that is what it's all about. It's about giving a crystal effect, sparkling glass, crushed glass crystal effect. But for me, I mean, mica all day long. Look at it. Absolutely love it. I am obsessed. Like, I know. I'm not even going to say sorry. I'm not sorry. I love it. Let me know your thoughts. If you are interested in this druzy moon mold, then I am going to leave the details for Bow Home Beautiful down below. This is not a sponsored video. They've sent me the mold to play with. I do not benefit at all if you decide that you want to go ahead and get this mold. There's no money in it for me, guys. Trust me, I've seen comments. I just want to let you know I'm not gonna earn if you decide to get this mold. It is stunning. I love it. Let me know what colors you would do. I'm gonna try and fit another one of these in before my Halloween season ends, because it's ending very, very soon. My Halloween season is gonna end soon after the collaboration. So again, if you're interested in an open invite collaboration, crafters from all over the world, I've invited you in to have fun and have a collaboration with me, creating something Halloweeny from absolutely anything. It could be metal, it could be crochet, it could be polymer clay, anything you want. Check out my Instagram, okay? All the details are there on how you can just join in the fun and share your work with the world, either on Instagram or on YouTube as well. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this one, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.